It's Tuesday, July 30th, 2030, and what do you know? The A's have a record at or near 500 at the trade deadline. But this time could be different. We are 6 games below our Pythagorean expectation. This month of June took out our month of April, and we've been 500 outside of those 2 months. So, how did we get here and where do we move on? Now, I don't think that we need to buy. If I was a fan of this team after however many years of hovering around 500 and not making the playoffs, this is the fourth year, I would be like, please buy and try and push for it. We're a game and a half out of the last wild card. We should be challenging the Rangers. We're not, but maybe we do towards the end of the year. My mandate right now to my staff is that if you do not pick it up, you're gone at the end of the year. Troy Barrick has been here now for 4 years, and he has been a 500 manager. Not, tremendous results. The hitting coach could probably go as well, as we've taken a step back on offense. The pitching is still great. The offense is not. We have made some trades to rectify that, still with some players on the trade block with a day to go before the deadline. These guys here. Pitching side, though, first, Luis Frias comes over from the Tampa Bay Rays for Mitch Spence and Alec Thomas, who had been in our minor leagues. They also retained a portion of the deal so that we gained money by making this trade. So not even a buy at all, kind of a lateral move for a better player. And he comes in as our number 2 starter with 2 of our starters on the injured list. Roansy Contreras with a slipped disc in his back, and Gonzalez, who has a sprained ankle, in addition to Mauricio Albaladejo being out with a herniated disc in his neck for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Cole Mathis suspended as well for his involvement in a brawl. Now, why is Albaladejo up with the big league club? We waived Nasim Nunez, who was picked up by Toronto. I tried to make a trade for him. Nobody wanted him. And he was hitting so bad and had hit so bad, but he's still a good enough defender that he's an average starter if he can hit at around a 60 OPS plus. I just didn't want to wait for it. We had guys that wanted to come up, like Abaladejo. He was hitting well in AA and AAA this season, but then immediately got hurt after a few games. The rest of the pitching, Guerindo's still pitching well. Brown, Funderburk taking a step back. Frasso's still good. We traded for Brandon Hughes a few days ago from the Baltimore Orioles for Dan Cooper, who had stagnated at AAA. Actually had hit well in our Sacramento, but in Norfolk so far not as great. He is not a great character guy. He lacks inner drive and is no Einstein. So I was okay moving on for him for a good lefty reliever. Huascar Ynoa made the All-Star game again. Funderburk also made the All-Star game. In 2.5 years with us, Ynoa has made 2 All-Star games, and then the rest of his career he hasn't really been as good. Maybe in Atlanta you could say he was. TJ Brock on track for 38 saves. He's third in the American League right now with 25 saves. Has a negative RWAR despite 2.72 ERA. He has 10 losses, though, which is surprising for a closer. Joey Estes has come up, and in a short burst, he's pitched well. Carlos Rodriguez, his ERA is almost 2 runs better than his FIP, so we'll wait and see what happens with that. That's why I added the starter, just in case Rodriguez takes a step back. Sanchez is expendable, but still a lefty arm. And Joe Little is up, the number 51 prospect in baseball out of St. Peter's. Has come up for 4 games after pitching well enough in AAA that I was comfortable to bring him up. He's almost 24, so it's right. He's ready to go for a stretch run. Chris Sale role. He's not as good as Chris Sale, but coming out of the bullpen as a rookie, I want to see what he can do. Pat Brasseur coming back from injury. He had 2 starts in AAA, has come up and not pitched well. But with the injuries to our starters, I've wanted to give him some playing time, and he's been the worst pitcher we have up right now. On the lineup side, we add Lawrence Butler once again. He's back. Oh, why did it do that? Lawrence Butler is back. He's having an average season. He's a free agent after the year. He was with Arizona for 91 games. We bring him in along with Cal Raleigh, who we've since cut, for Ronald Hernandez, who's the odd man out on the 40-man roster and is now in Arizona. Whatever. We needed a lefty bat. We want to win right now. The other guy we brought in was Yoan Moncada, who's kind of a super utility guy at this stage of his career. The lefty splits are good, so we optioned Max Clark to the minor leagues. Kept up Connor Griffin despite his poor performance because he is a captain archetype. Moncada hasn't hit well, but offers positional versatility, and we only gave up a catcher who'd reached his ceiling, Juan Olmos, who's 25, was hitting very well in Double-A, but it was time to move on. Denzel Clark, the best season of his career. He will be a free agent after the year, but I'm not offering him this contract. I'll give him the qualifying offer most likely. Braden Montgomery in his first season in the bigs, still just lights out. He was an all-star, but the fielding is bad, surprisingly, in left, despite these ratings. Chase Young, one of the best trade acquisitions we've made. He's been great. Lawrence Butler talked about him. Austin Charles still just, being an above-average utility platoon guy. Bobby Hunter, an average starting third baseman. Manuel Pena, the hitting has fallen off a bit now that he's been having to play shortstop. I don't know. He's in arbitration next season. We'll probably look for somebody else. I don't know yet. Alfredo Duno, between him and McFarland, we've got an average starter at catcher. And then Moncada, Jacob Wilson, after hitting very well in AAA, will have one last shot at age 28, former first-round pick, to make a statement with the club in the big leagues. He only has 69 nice combined plate appearances over 2 seasons, has not been in the big leagues since 2027. Gabriel Martinez has been bad, and so is Connor Griffin, but Griffin's hit so well in AAA that I want to keep the faith, and he's been good in right field for us. So that's the team right now. Like I said, we have some guys that we could still trade at the deadline. Most of our work has been done, but that's what everything looks like right now. So we'll move to the deadline and see if anybody wants our scraps. Doesn't seem like it. Let's see. So Jeremy Pena for Steve Hooks. No, I don't really want that. Yainer Diaz for David Arizmendi. Don't need Yainer Diaz. And then I remember this one, Yumin Lin, who is a current prospect for the Arizona Diamondbacks, recently featured in a Foolish Bailey Statline scouting video. Gold Glove winner. We just don't need him. And Alvaro Guevara for Drew Jones. Drew Jones, I might just keep him just because, if Connor Griffin can't put it together, we'll call up Drew Jones. I like the guys that we have. I don't want to move on from too many of them. Oh, yeah, we also traded Angel Zerpa, who's having a great season in AAA. He's going to be a free agent after the year, though. We traded him, and I believe there's somebody else. No, it was just him for Jonathan Jordan, who's a good left-handed prospect that the Marlins were willing to give up for Zerpa. He's down in AAA. He can play first. He can play left field, maybe not right field. He's got one more option after this season. And, or I guess does this count this year? So he'll be out of options next season. But, he was a good enough player that I took a flyer on him and then free us the last trade. So we've made 4 trades within the window. Actually more than I thought we would. Let's see, does anybody else want who we're offering? I'm not in a hurry to move any of these guys. We don't really need to. So if nobody is wanting them, I'm okay to move on. Okay. Any fun trades? Khalil Watson goes to Toronto. It doesn't really seem like the deadlines in this game do that much. The Guardians finally traded Shane Bieber, though, to the Cubs. Maybe not a Hall of Famer, but a Hall of Very Good pitcher in Cleveland for 18-year-old Sergio Contreras. I can't imagine that Cleveland fans will be happy about that. They also traded money to the Cubs. That's a weird trade. Matt McLean to the Red Sox from the Tigers. Yeah, average deadline. Jack Sawinski was a guy I thought about trading for, but I liked bringing Butler back. I just thought that was fun. Although Sawinski having a better season. But we have too many guys with that skill set, low contact, low strikeout rate. Tyler Tolvey and Yainer Diaz don't care about either of them. And so we're done. Trade deadline is over. And we still have some players, but we made a number of trades. So I can move all these guys off. And let's do a little dive into the minor leagues. So we saw the first 5 rounds of the draft. As I said, or did I say it? I don't know. Max Clark is down in AAA. He'll probably be our center fielder next season, if I had to guess. This is his last option year. So Jordan does have 1 option year left. That's good to know. Grady Emerson is in AAA. He's Rule 5 eligible now, so he should be up next season and will challenge for the starting second base role. Jeremy Rodriguez is a guy that I had high hopes for with this defense, but has not hit well in AAA so far. Bracco will be back. He still has some option years left. I need to move up a catcher here with the 2 trades that we made, Akio Yoshikawa, and then I need 2 catchers from down here. So we'll call up Mike Shields to AA as well as Andy Eggers. And then I need 2 catchers here. Mike Highland's not playing well. Juan Pacheco's been in A-ball for 3 years, so he can move up or, not be good. These guys need to be up, I would say. Mike Highlands. Yeah, you should be in high A. Okay. So that is a look at the minor leagues right now. Anybody else worth noticing? Chaebong Kim is a guy that we purchased out of the indie ball leagues and has been generating some interest. He's a captain, 55 potential starting pitching prospect. Chris Sinclair, hitting well in AA. I hesitate to promote him at age 21 with the backlog of outfielders we have in AAA right now. Ismael Ayala is fragile, but a good second base prospect, our 3rd round pick in 2027. They're finally, ascending. Haechan Kim, another indie league guy, Korean league guy that was cut by the KBO Futures League and signed with an indie ball league. So, we finally have some depth in the farm system. Eric Salazzo is another guy I'm interested in. Probably a third baseman, not necessarily a shortstop. Yeah, I don't know. Zach Lavallee is the number 81 prospect in baseball and hitting well in high A. He should move up to AA pretty soon. Josh Dawenbaugh, Juan Carrillo, high A, finally getting some nice players as well. But the pitching still lags behind, but there's no such thing as a pitching prospect. Welch is close to being one, though. Versluis, I had high hopes for him. In A-ball, TJ Venable and CJ Henderson down there in the middle infield. And then Josh Mallard at 19 are recently fallen out of the top 100 because he has been overmatched in A-ball after a good season, good 21 and 2/3 innings in rookie ball. I thought he was ready. They told me he was ready. Guess he's not. But I can't move him down now. I mean, no, I can't do. I'll give him a little bit more time down there. Never wanted to demote a prospect, but I already screwed it up. A lot of 70 potential guys in the low minors. I don't care until they graduate. Here's the minor league system. We're now 26th. They don't take into account how deep our system is, in my opinion. We have a very deep system. Maybe not the high-end talent, but we have contributors, I think, at every level. And I think we're going to finally graduate a number of players. But other than that, that's about where we stand. 3 players with 20 home runs. That's fun. Probably a 4. Well, Butler at 18 in Arizona. Maybe Bobby Hunter gets there, on pace for 21. Maybe Denzel Clark gets there. He's had a power surge recently. Let's play one game against San Francisco and see how Brasseur does if he starts. If it would save. I'm trying to sign this guy. He's fragile. Whatever. He keeps not wanting to sign with us. Colton Cowser. Jason Dominguez, man. 3 consecutive seasons of 200 OPS plus. 4 of 180 OPS plus. Almost a Hall of Famer. Like, before he gets to the age of 30. He is fragile, so that's tough. But the Phillies, robbery from the Yankees. Brandon Barrera, best starter in July in AAA. He'll be up probably soon. We lose to San Francisco 1-6. It's Garindo with the loss. I don't like that. We win in 10 innings in the second game. Frias starts. Ugh. I'm going to cut Celestino. Yeah. We don't need him. Okay, so we're 55 and 55, still holding at 500. Yeah. Jackson Chourio with the cycle. I want to win. I want to go to the playoffs so bad. Stick around for that. See ya.